When I began to write the script in the summer of 2020 for Dismissal Time, I only knew a couple of things. I knew I couldn't necessarily go after my school directly, that it had to be a fictionalized story, taking that incident and other experiences that I've had and inject them into the story. And even as I was researching through teacher friends, former students that I went to school with, I started to find that there were similar incidents that went on in these times. And reading up on different articles around the country, it turned out there were similar incidents that were going on, and these stories getting completely covered up or getting lost in the news cycles. And this was another reason where I felt this couldn't just be simply a bullying story or a racial story, but we're not talking about how Black children, teenagers, are being bullied because of their skin color or because of who they love or because of their mental condition. And some of these kids are so fragile that they do end up taking their own lives and harming themselves. And so that's something that I don't feel the media does enough to put spotlight onto, because there's this perception that we're always strong in our convictions, but that's not everybody. We're all as fragile as the next. I also knew that the protagonist who would bring the light to the darkness had to be a teacher. And the character of Sharon Vance was a combination of a number of teachers I've had in my life that had the most impact on me, including one that I felt was very guarded, sometimes had a tough exterior, but yet she had those moments of humanity and caring about the kids, even if she didn't necessarily have to hug you to do it. She showed it just in her very simple actions. You know, whether it's sitting down in the lunchroom to make a kid not feel like they're by themselves, or simply just trying to motivate them to excel in the classroom. That's what I was looking for. And the very first person that I knew I needed to contact for this role was Lisa Regina.
You can't let Jerry or any other man bring you down, all right? Besides, all men, they just think with their manhood. Serious, Jerry's got a big bark, but his, don't worry about it.
Lisa Regina and I first worked together in 2007 when I cast her in my first feature film called Priceless. She played a waitress who was a colleague of the leading lady in the film. And we got along great, and one of the things I found out from her was that she was also an acting coach, so I ended up taking acting lessons from her for a good couple of months. And we still kept in contact over the years, and I worked on a couple of her anti-bullying projects. And when I decided I wanted to make this movie, she was the first person that I knew I needed to cast right away, because Lisa, not just as a great actress, but as a humanitarian, as somebody who gives back through her nonprofit Right to Heal, is someone that I felt would be strong enough to withstand a school administration that won't take action, that won't bring the justice that's necessary to bring closure to the story.
It's been amazing working with Andre Joseph and his entire production team. I think that as an advocate, as an artist, whenever there's a project that raises awareness in an effort to diminish the numbers of bullying and racism, anything like that, I'm definitely on board. It's right in line with my mission and my nonprofit, A Right to Heal, using performance, filmmaking, and writing to raise awareness for any sensitive subject matter.
A teacher of her personality who knows the student, who can go above and beyond to get to the truth and not let up. That's what I needed. And I felt she delivered that in so many ways. And just watching her on set, there were times it was cathartic, sometimes emotional, and a lot of times us just having conversations even before we shot, where I just tried to remind her of how these stories came about, how I wrote these scenes based on the experiences that I had, and what I wanted her to feel in that moment. Because for me, she's the audience. She's the one that's supposed to be outraged and supposed to feel like, why are there no people speaking up for this kid? Why are there no people, getting to the truth? Why do I have to be the one alone to do this? And what she ends up finding is that for as much as there's bullying in the student body, there's also bullying in administration as well when they don't like something that's going to affect their public image. She was just incredible, and even as a producer, again, went above and beyond to help with finding our actors, finding some of our crew, and even getting the community involved with a number of the businesses in South Jersey and Philadelphia that contributed with food donations for the locations that we were able to get a hold of. And everybody who believed in the story was willing to bend over backwards to make it successful.